So what I'm saying is a MacGuffin is it's not just anything that moves the plot along, is what I'm saying. It's just like...
But it is anything that moves the plot along. That's not a person.
But it has to
be an object.
It can be a person too, I think. I
don't think...
No, I think Belle from Twilight was a total MacGuffin. They never explained what her deal was or why she was interesting to anyone at all. She had no real redeeming qualities, yeah.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
That's a big explanation for your joke.
Okay,
you go like to great lengths to be humorous and.
Well, that's what I do for our listeners. Welcome to the Transmit Podcast, a Super Awesome Showdown offshoot. I'm Spike.
And I'm Vic.
All right.
Wait, should I be Vic or Victor?
I think you are who you are at any time of the day.
I think I'll do Victor.
Okay, be Victor.
Just so it's distinct from the
from
Vic Valentine character.
No, that makes sense. Look, how you identify yourself is your personal business.
All right.
But anyway,
let's be interesting and.
I mean, that's going to be a stretch for both of us.
Funny? Oh
God, we're rarely that. Okay, but before we be funny, I think we want to talk about the show a little bit, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so.
I mean, totally.
God damn it. So,
let's get into it. I'm excited about this show.
Oh, I'm excited too. But what I wanted to ask you about was Space Love Adventure, because we have another one of those coming up. It's our big Valentine's Day show, and it has a really different feel from the other shows, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, when you first came up with the idea for Space Love Adventure, what was your inspiration?
I guess it's kind of like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, some sort of space opera.
Yeah.
Something to really make us stand out. Like this, that's the show that's like the fun show, that's like eliminates all of the tropes that wrestling normally has.
So it's
like all the when you go watch wrestling, you're like it's more like a monster truck show.
Right.
Like it's like monster trucks, hunting. It's very masculine pro wrestling, and I wanted to create something that's like, just a little bit more romantic, love story, kind of like Gone with the Wind,
Yeah, and it really does have that feel where it's way more way more less wrestling than our shows already are. Our shows have a lot of those elements, but it really doesn't feel like an average wrestling show. And this takes it even further, which I really like.
Yeah, it's a space, it's love, it's adventure.
Yeah, and so I really like the feel. It feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie because you change up the music entirely. Yeah, so instead of the normal synthwave electronic kind of music that we normally play during matches, we sub it out for classic 70s era and 80s, I think a little bit. Yeah,
70s. So you got some 70s rock, some soul, some funk.
Oh yeah, it's great. And
it allows me to go and look up, music. The first Space Love Adventure we did actually looked up online all the songs that James Gunn wanted to use for Guardians of the Galaxy, but he couldn't.
So hopefully he's living vicariously through us and our creativeness.
Yeah. So I just stole those songs.
Oh man, that's awesome. So wait. Was there a list somewhere? Did he just say here's a list I printed out of songs I wanted to use? Is he that kind of guy?
I guess it was collected from interviews that he's done. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know any of these songs, but
well, and that's the great thing about changing it up is you get to find new music, and especially since you're going for a different feel. Otherwise, we just have techno all the time.
Yeah, and I'm stressing out the weeks before the show trying to figure out what the best songs are.
Yeah,
we still haven't released the first one, but the second Space Love Adventure, which may be a little bit better than the first one, that's coming out soon on Patreon.
Oh, excellent!
For early access.
Nice,
so
and
check that out, listeners.
That Patreon is up.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Where can we find? Is Patreon at Super Awesome Showdown?
Yeah.
Excellent.
$1 tier gets you the early access. The $10 tier gets you all of the exclusive stuff that we don't release to the general public because we're ashamed. I mean, because it's so awesome.
It's so great.
It's so great.
Listen, we deserve to be paid for our time. Well, somebody does. I haven't seen money from this.
The awkward moments,
all the stuff that we've managed to weed out, but makes us look more human.
And maybe some special podcasts that we were just too ashamed. I mean,
no, you can say shame. We should feel ashamed of the stuff that we didn't release yet.
We didn't want to put this awesomeness upon the regular Joe,
right.
everyday person. They're not
ready for it.
Only the super fans would get it.
Oh yeah, they need to be committed fully. So when you're writing a story that's a romance story, normally, it's a lot of conflict and it's a lot of like larger than life powers meeting up just to like clamber for a prize. But when you have to add a love element into the story, what's your thought process to making that?
Not very hard, not very difficult actually. That's one of the easiest parts. Just Space Princess.
No, yeah, that's true. Like we were going to the well basically.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I don't mind doing something that's already like a trope, you know, something that's already. Sorry, I'm choking on my
apple juice.
Yeah, the apple cider.
It's a tangy.
It burns going down if you drink it too fast.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't breathe at the wrong time.
And that there's no open flames around.
So
yeah,
we go the Disney route basically. They've got it and they know the deal. And we just say princess.
Mario did it. That movie. What's the movie with the guy?
I'm gonna need a little more. Just like
you and I, we went out to see a Riff Tracks event, and it was this sci-fi movie, and it was this guy who was like a prince, and he had to save the princess.
It was Krull.
Krull, yeah, and he had that like little like blade.
Yeah, the glaive.
The glaive.
The glaive. How do you not know Krull? We're the same age, basically.
So that inspired me for Space Love Adventure.
It's just a substandard 80s sci-fi movie?
Yeah.
Okay. No, listen.
And there's a king, you know.
Really, like, substandard 80s sci-fi really inspires most of our stuff, right?
Yeah, it would be cool if Space Love Adventure, if they released that at the Ken. We're spitballing now. We've got some ideas.
Oh, yeah, we're pitching to the internet.
Yeah. If they released that at the Ken is like a kind of a hipster movie theater.
Yeah.
Here in, you've been to it, right?
I think I've been to it.
We saw The Room there.
Yeah, we did.
With a couple friends of ours.
Yep.
Yeah, they do Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, is it the ones where the people dress up?
And Indiana Jones, yeah.
Nice.
And you know what? They should do Space Love Adventure there.
They should. Why aren't we pitching that to them?
Because it's campy enough.
It's campy enough.
And, kind of just corny enough to fit in.
I think it would be perfect for that venue.
Perfect for that venue. And that's what the feel that we want people to have when they're watching the live show.
A campy 80s romp through romance and sci-fi.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to transition now to just talking about some stuff that's come up, all right? Thank you for sticking through that basically interview, dear listener. But let's take a look.
Are you telling me thanks, or are you telling?
I'm going to tell everyone thanks for sitting through what we do to them, for what we subject our fans to.
There was a pause earlier. I do pause a lot. If you can edit that out.
Okay, listen.
Maybe you can edit this out.
This is why you should listen to the podcast, because like I edited out most of the long pauses.
All right, good.
That's like par for the course. Okay, so we're going to shift over to talking about some talking points that have come up to my mind. Do you have some thoughts that you've just... I'm not asking you to say right now, but I'm teasing. Do you have some thoughts that have come up over the course of your week?
Just in the grand scheme of the world, things that are going on the internet, is that what you're thinking?
Or whatever in life, because I have some non-internet stuff too. Okay, so first things first. It has occurred to me recently that construction workers get a lot of shit for catcalling, and if they do catcall, they're getting shit rightfully, right?
Yeah.
But really, why are they the stereotypical like image you have in your head when someone catcalls? When realistically, Hollywood is like way worse. Like we have executives fondling Terry Crews, a muscle-bound, 6 foot something dude. But you would never see a construction worker come up to Terry Crews on the street and just start fondling his junk.
Yeah.
I mean, you got you got Weinstein, you got Louis C.K. doing stuff that is way worse. But when you say catcalling, the first thing you think of is a guy in a hard hat, right?
Yeah, huh. Well, I think of like a guy in a car, maybe a young guy in his late teens or early 20s. He's got a leather jacket and he's driving a Mustang.
That's what I think. That's a very specific thought. Like, listen,
I think of a guy he's got a leather jacket.
You're right.
He's driving a car, and he yells out the window. It's like, hey, yeah. I don't really think of construction workers, but that's kind of like
that's the stereotypical one that a lot of people would think of.
Yeah.
But realistically, you think of the casting couch is a real thing that exists. There's no casting couch at a construction site basically, or in the back of that guy's Mustang.
Yeah.
So there's no leverage there.
So there's a power dynamic though. These construction workers, they don't have the power to really...
Exactly. And so why isn't the powerful executive now like the guy you think of when you think of harassment?
Yeah, that's a good point. But that might be starting to change.
That probably will, especially
people
since
are finding out about it.
So maybe we're just like starting that transition to, oh God, I got Weinstein today. God.
Yeah. Well, maybe the construction worker trope came from the archetype of the sexual harassing construction worker came from like this construction worker maybe years ago in the 20s or 30s or something. And like maybe it's a news story that we don't know in our time, but like back in the day.
Oh, that was a real thing?
Like this construction worker did some like fucked up shit to like when it was like going around and like
he was yelling at everybody.
Just catcalling.
I don't know. I get worse. I get the feeling that it might be very regional too, because when you think of like the construction worker, he's usually Italian in your mind. So I'm betting.
Yeah, it's Italian. Yeah.
I'm betting there's no.
The guy in the car was Italian for me.
Well, wow, sir. Before we get accused of a hate crime, I have to edit this and put it out in good conscience.
You're the one who's bringing up Italian construction workers.
Whoa, I was saying this more like a regional thing. Okay, so it was just an interesting note I thought of of that power dynamic. Okay, so do you want to talk about... actually, you haven't seen Aliens and Predator recently, have you?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so let's talk about Belle Delphine then.
Delphine.
Okay, so basically...
Here we go.
Since this has been around the internet for a while, I've been talking about... I've been listening to the news coming out. So basically, before she got kicked from Instagram for apparently violating the rules, she had to address something about her bathwater.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a tweet where she had to tell everyone that no, it does not make you sick.
You're sugarcoating it a little bit. People were afraid of getting straight up herpes from this bathwater.
Look, sick is sick, and I'm just going to say, yes, they were afraid of her getting herpes from her bathwater.
Herpes isn't necessarily sick. It's just like it's an ongoing condition.
Or
one in 4 people have it.
I.e. an illness?
You can call it an illness.
Okay.
But people don't want to get...
being sick?
People don't want to get herpes.
Well, listen.
If they don't already have it,
so
they will try not to get it. But maybe these video game guys, these gamer dudes, that maybe they want to get Belle Delphine's brand of herpes.
So if you're willing to buy her bathwater, you're probably willing to get her herpes. Let's be honest, from her bathwater. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a vector for herpes is bathwater.
Yeah.
But she came out and vehemently defended her fine bathwater product.
Yeah.
And
she said she didn't have an outbreak in like 2 years or something. I'm not sure if that was real. You sent that to me, and I'm not sure if that's...
I don't know if it's real or not. What's real on the internet, really? Listen, I'm pretty sure it's real. But it was the funniest thing I saw that day, that she's her own like product spokesman. Yeah. So she has to like get out ahead of these rumors and assure the public that her product does not make you ill.
This bathwater is good bathwater. Like, you can open it up, play with it, do whatever you want with it.
I put it through a rigorous quality control process. Each one artisanally gathered, serialized, and mailed to you in discreet packaging labeled "Not Gamer Girl Bathwater."
And I saw that she was like selling whole tubs of it. She would get in the tub.
Well, I think she got in the tub and then...
She's selling one for $10,000 or something. I'm not sure if that's real, though.
I don't know. Like, she also addressed in that same tweet that...
the research that we do on the show
is scant at best.
Okay.
Especially about Belle Delphine's bathwater.
Yeah.
No, I think she also addressed that her pee was not a real product you could buy. Someone was selling pee
Belle Delphine
with the false moniker that it was her urine.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you could probably buy pee out there, but I guess, she's not ready. She doesn't have a mortgage yet. Once she gets a mortgage, that's when she'll start selling like a lot of parts of her.
Yeah, houses, are expensive, especially when she's got to start doing repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's going to be selling all kinds of bodily fluids.
Really, I'd like her to have a different spokesperson, like just a guy in a suit coming out. Because really, her defending her product feels a little personal. I want to see that professional, sir, the Belle Delphine bathwater product line is the finest bathwater product on the market. And Miss Delphine rigorously confirms that every bottle is held up to the highest standards of bathwater you can find out there on the internet.
That'll be the day.
These spurious rumors.
We're about 2 or 3 years away from those internet celebrities. What do they call them? Influencers?
I think influencers, some of them are just internet celebrities. I think influencer is a very specific thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because influencer is like someone who like has a bunch of followers and then will use that to sell something.
Yeah.
But then you have people like like Derek from Mega 64. He's well known, but he's not an influencer, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, or the Nostalgia Critic, like he has a YouTube channel and lots of followers and lots of fans, but he's not an influencer.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, whatever we call
probably
internet
both
people.
of them, probably influencers and probably minor internet celebrities.
Yeah. One of them 2 or 3 years from now is going to come out with this guy. They're going to hire a spokesman or a lawyer or something.
They're going to get big enough that they can get a spokesperson
to talk right to the
people.
To people. But you know what? I feel like that's what makes these internet celebrities like unique is that they're personable and they go out. It's their own voice.
They have a very specific brand, but I think sometimes, like any product line, like Nike has a voice or has a persona, but they don't always use that persona to say like, okay, this shoe product may have failed, but it's only one shoe product. They don't always have like that same voice say everything, right?
Yeah. Or corporations I watched this show called Wisecrack on YouTube. They recently did a video about corporations and corporations being depressed.
Oh God.
Was it like one of them, like Wendy's started getting all like sassy?
I remember
Twitter.
that.
And then now, like, which one of them? One of them straight up said, like, I can't deal with it anymore. And then another corporation was like, are you okay? And then that other corporation was like, yeah, I'm all right.
Well, to be fair, like that's like the person who's in charge of their Twitter account.
Yeah.
That's the one that's saying like, are you okay? Like their job is to like be an interesting voice to get more viewers, to make people think I should eat at Wendy's.
Yeah, because that whole spokesman thing that went over like back a decade ago, but now like there's this new wave of humanization.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Commodification of human emotion.
Ooh, people are video games are penetrating.
Yeah, video games are like that's a big industry.
Yeah, so
I'm assuming a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I think so too, especially when you think of all the indie developers and the AAA industry and everything in between.
Yeah.
So the thing I was talking about is this writer is curious as to why no one knows that Wolfenstein Youngblood's coming out, and I'm pretty sure it's the same deal as why you may not know that much about a movie.
Yeah.
It might suck. Like they do this with movies all the time, where if it sucks, there won't be any like critic reviews for it. But if they think it's good, they'll like release it to critics and let them watch it and review it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what's happening here.
That's interesting. How do they know? I heard that too, that like when movies don't get a whole lot of marketing push, they're like, okay, well, they're probably thinking we want to cut our losses on this. Like if it's not going to be that great, we don't want to spend all this money on marketing. We already spend all the money making it.
Right.
We already put all this money into.
And if you give it to the reviewers first, they're going to say this movie sucks and it's going to drive down the numbers.
Yeah. So, but how do they, but what my question is,
okay,
how do they know it sucks? Does the director, the producers, one day they get together and they all watch it and then they're like, well, oh my God.
From what I understand, like I listen to a few podcasts where they talk about making movies, and the thing they always say is like when you're filming a movie, you don't always know that it's going to suck then.
Yeah, of course.
When you start cutting it together, though, that's when you know it's going to suck. If it's in development hell, usually that's like maybe an editing process or you have to do reshoots. Yeah. Because when you're putting it together and you realize you can't make a cohesive story, or like all the acting doesn't like add up to anything, or it just comes off as stupid.
Yeah.
So that's how they know, is like when in the editing process is what I understand. Okay. And so probably they didn't know this game was going to be bad when they were designing like the base elements of it. Yeah. When they were thinking of like, they probably used the same like engine or a very similar engine to the earlier games that were good. Mm-hmm. And so only when they realized that, the sum of its parts suck, is when they said, maybe we shouldn't like market this too heavily, is what I'm guessing. Yeah. Because I'm betting at this point, it's like any movie where they have to either get it out there or cancel it. They can probably recoup some losses because it has enough name recognition, is what I'm thinking. But if it's a decent shooter, I don't know. Maybe it's just not going to live up to expectation.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Wolfenstein, so...
the other one...
You'll have to tell me about that sometime.
New Colossus was really good. It was over the top. I'll show you some clips later at dinner.
I'm a New Colossus... Is that Shadow of the Colossus?
No, that's a way older game that was remade. It's where you kill giants, basically. It's
okay.
Actually, it's a classic.
You're talking about something called New Colossus?
No, the New Colossus. It's basically the Nazi war machine is the Colossus, and so
I have a feeling this podcast will be talking about video games a lot.
We might, but listen,
which is cool because that's the kind of the crowd that we want to get.
Well, that's the first.
But I don't really know. I don't really know shit about.
Okay, next time I'll give you some heads up.
No, it's good. It's good to throw me into the pool, you know.
Well, I think and
I can learn about video games with
you can.
Everyone else.
Well, yeah, I think maybe for news stories I'll give you some heads up, but if it's just like me talking about like carne asada fries, you're gonna have to roll with those punches. But yeah, I think
okay.
Yeah, I'm betting it's going to be dumb from like a storytelling perspective because the gameplay in the last one was super fun.
From what I understand, though, Wolfenstein, it's like a first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
There's Nazis.
Yes.
And there's like a mecha robot Hitler.
No, that's the old one. The newer one just has, I think the newest one, you meet Hitler, and he is a vomiting, neurotic mess.
Oh.
I mean, it would have been fun if you could shoot him, but apparently you don't get to shoot Hitler in that game. Maybe in the next one you will.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
The kind of the problem with the last game was if you picked normal difficulty, it felt like hard. Like they gave you like a baby's amount of health, and you got like really strong at the end of the game. And really, if you're gonna kill a bunch of like Nazis in like the deep south, where the Klan runs things, you really want to be a super powered like ultra soldier. You don't want to be some regular schmo, right?
Whoa, that's what Wolfenstein is?
Yeah.
You're in the South?
Well, no, like this in the latest game, you're in the South. In the first game, they take you from World War II, you're in a coma, and then
you come out
of the coma, and the Nazis are taken over. And then you fight the Nazis.
Oh, it's like the Man in the High Castle.
Exactly. And in the second one, I think you're injured again or something, but you come back and you go to the South this time, and the Klan is running things, and you get to kill a bunch of Klansmen.
Oh, cool, sweet.
But the problem is, you're not nearly strong enough to
they should make Django the video game. You can play as Django.
Oh, that'd be great.
That should be a DLC for Wolfenstein. Is you can pick Jamie Foxx Django.
No, patent pending. I think I know a guy who could help us. Mace, he's a video game tester. Yeah. Let's see if we can get him to get the ball rolling on that. We're going to sell some DLC to these guys. Oh, why didn't we think of that? That is brilliant.
Django and Wolfenstein.
Yeah. You don't even have to change much. You just change like the hands a little bit, because in most of the game, you're just seeing like a gun.
Yeah.
Oh, you change the musical. You just load up some new music and you're set.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, Django comes out. He's like been in a cryogenic stasis.
Yeah.
Like they just pick up they pick up from the movie where it left off.
Yeah.
And he just falls into like an ice cliff or something, or like a glacier.
Yeah.
And he wakes up in Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we need to write movies is what we need to do.
And his work isn't done. He's still got to kill some
racist motherfuckers.
Racists, yeah.
Oh God, we are geniuses is what we are.
Yeah,
Clink this glass. Clink my glass.
There we go.
Boom.
Django and the new Wolfenstein. You heard it here first. And if it comes
yes, you did.
If it comes out,
we get royalties.
And we're not part of it. Yeah, we should get royalties.
That is subtle genius. All right, listen, that is way too much awesome for one podcast, but I'm going to try to cram it into one upload, okay?
There we go.
All right, so thank you for listening to the Super Awesome Showdown podcast transmit. I'm Spike.
I'm Vic.
We'll see you next time.